such a relief to see the longer length skirt. I mean, for years we've now had very, very short skirts, and then in the summer we've had the maxi length, but this new knee length through to mid-calf is a fantastic addition to our wardrobe.
The midi has been bubbling for several seasons now, but never have we been so seduced by the demure charm of this new elegant length, loaded with grown-up womanly allure. A high nipped waist provides a leg-lengthening silhouette that is entirely prim, yet designers presented a versatile array of midis that offer women an option smart enough for day and polished enough for evening. Whether dresses, skirts, culottes, or suits, this is decisively the new length for the months ahead.
Well, I think it's a symbol of sophistication. The client wants something special, the girl who buys my clothes wants something that feels unique. The length adds that air of kind of elegance to it, which you don't really get from a short, flirty skirt, you know, and I think that that's what kind of made it work and felt right for that collection.
Prints added the flair, geometrics at Marni, macrame at Christopher Kane, florals at Balenciaga, and the whole alphabet soup at D&G. These looks offered a breath of lightness and humor to this predominantly serious trend.
It's quite a beautiful shape. It's a shape like, it's like a perfume for me. If you see a woman with a midi-length dress or skirt, she leaves a trace behind her of color and fabric, and for me it's like perfume.
Personal favourite are the rather 40s influenced dresses, which I think are just so pretty, are going to be so easy to wear. People like Miu Miu have done it. We've got some lovely aspects in Clemence Ribeiro. It's a very easy look.
Following on from spring-summer's saturated neons, designers are still adoring color, but this season they focused on a much more lush, jeweled palette.
I think color become the new black, you know, that you start one color and it challenges you to another color, and there is quite a strong sense of happiness with color. You feel like invigorated, you feel like, I don't know, not just smiling, but just like, whew, it's powerful.
Had so much to do with contrast and putting colors that don't go together. I was really interested in kind of creating this tension with the palette, with mixing mustards with hot pinks and fuchsias, with kind of royal blues. It was all about very kind of saturated, bright color.
From mustard topaz and verdant emerald to scarlet ruby, midnight sapphire, and amethyst, designers delved into the jewelry box this season to create glamorous pieces in decadent hues. These luxurious tones inspired sophisticated evening wear in all four of the fashion capitals, from full-length flowing gowns in sumptuous silks to statement cocktail dresses in velvet or lace. These rich fabrics were enhanced by the opulent jewel shades that colored the catwalk this season.
I wanted to play with colors in a fall-winter collection, with wool, with furs, but the challenge was to put all the combination of colors together.
Borrowing from a man's wardrobe has never been more prevalent. Tuxedo and smoking-inspired looks at Ralph Lauren, Moschino, and Jason Wu define elegance. Buttoned-up shirts, classic trousers, and well-cut suits were prominent everywhere from New York to Paris. This is tailoring at its very best. neat and masculine by nature and with flattering details and a feminine cut.
Very much about tailoring, but very softly constructed, so it respects the feminine form, you know, the importance of the rib cage, the shoulders. It's not overly sort of sexy, but it's sexy in a very subtle way.
Times are quite tough, and I think things have to go with the times, and I like the attitude of the girls being a little boyish but in the same time very feminine.
In search of a more feminine feel, designers either eliminated the shirt completely or cast necklines in plunging silk to provide the look with a sexier edge.
I like using some of the menswear element because I love menswear fabric. They have a texture and they have a weight which I think drives the shape.
This season, we've been nostalgically propelled back to the 60s with drop waists, car coats, polo necks, and mini lengths. Somewhere between Mrs. Robinson and Jean Shrimpton were a bevy of looks that balanced 60s street fashion and grown-up conservatism.
People tend to think of the 60s as a very monochromatic look, black and white in the main, but actually the 60s that we've seen this time has used a lot of checks, as in Prada, a lot of popping orange. You've got Burberry with their shift coats, Bottega Veneta used it, and also the two-piece, very simple shapes with little boxy jackets or shift tops with little plain skirts. So the 60s is used to cover a huge amount of different aspects.
Some wonderful pictures of this mod period in England, of the girls, very teddy bear coats and what have you. So why not explore that?
Monochrome is the shortcut to this trend and gives instant modish beat. Graphic black and white prints, drain pipe trousers, tunics, abbreviated hemlines, and Peter Pan collars all provide instant 60s credibility. This is a simple, clean line that looks best unadorned. Many designers chose not to mix black and white at all, instead sending models down the runway as a vision in all white or in two-piece black ensembles. Either way, this 60s staple looks as good now as it did then. Fetish's hardcore theatrics may appear to be entirely inspired by Lady Gaga herself, as seen on the Terry Mugler catwalk. But in reality, this trend is about making black work in every which way. PVC, rubber, lace, silk, and velvet. This is the dark moment for the autumn-winter season, but not without a feminine twist.
I think she is always a powerful woman who's empowered herself. Nobody's making her wear those clothes or making her wear a harness. She becomes empowered by emphasising the waist or emphasising the chest or emphasising the elongation of the neck. So it was empowering her as a woman and not in fetishising in a kind of maybe in a male sense of the term.
Louis Vuitton and many others call to mind the mischief of Charlotte Rampling in The Night Porter, and some take the trend as far as bondage with lattice lacing and leather harnesses. The innocent side, as seen at Christopher Kane and Christian Dior, is far less obvious, using lace, silk, and organza to suggest instead of leather and studs to shock. The clever little details prove to be the most seductive. Cutaway necklines, keyholes, chokers, and leather bra straps are the perfect nod to naughty. Ultimate winter warmer, shearling came in multiple guises this season. Many coats added a layer of bohemian luxe using curly Mongolian and shaggy goat hair, all played out in a very 70s palette of rust, ivory, and burnt amber tones.
I love the two schools of shearling. You've got the glamour shearling and then you've got the more cool rock and roll shearling. You see it at Isabel Marant and it's chucked over a mini dress with sort of suede fringe boots, and that girl has cool sort of rock and roll feel to her. Then you see it at Gucci and it's done in a much more sort of uber glamorous way, 70s feeling, you know, a bit of a sort of Afghan coat, you know, lovely sort of rust colours. It becomes like a really glamorous accessory to your wardrobe.
Winter, you expect a little more coverage, more protection, right? And nothing more glamorous, nothing more wonderful than hair and texture and wools and everything with that sort of fleece look.
We had some really fun little shearling collars that were overlaid on all the jackets. And it's a great accessory because you can chuck it on any coat and it turns it into something completely different.
Many designers chose to use shearling as a highlight, lining their coats with a thin layer of luxury. Others embellished lapels and shoulders with shearling accents, proving that you can do as much or as little with this trend as you like. Sharp, angular edges have been banished this autumn-winter season, and our new silhouette is a celebration of form and nods to the golden era of Parisian couture.
The oversized trend this season is very different from the way it's been shown to us before. The thing that's really important is that it's kept a very feminine shape to the silhouette. Working with different ideas of sort of making the sleeves much rounder, much more blouse shaped, you know, softening the waist, not cinching the waist in, and then a gentle sort of curve around the hips. And the shape has worked in so many different ways. We've seen it from sort of tunic dresses to then evening wear, and always just softening the shape of the body instead of making it feel huge or voluminous.
Shapes are shifting, skirts and dresses are cocooned, coats and jumpers are supersized and boast a raglan sleeve and gently sloping shoulder. It's all taking a softer approach to minimalism, replacing hard lines with elliptical cuts. Anything from bulky and cumbersome, this season has proved that supersizing your wardrobe can be sleek and controlled.
Some coats were very large, very big, and what was wonderful were the use of fabric, which was very stiff and made those shapes stand by themselves almost.
An easy approach to this trend is a blouse with a deflated sleeve or a lightly puffed shoulder, but to truly embrace the grandeur, dresses in artistic prints are most alluring.